welcome back. Every Thursday on News 9 at 9, we are going in depth with Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley.
Following the death of a pedestrian in Oklahoma City, our Lisa Monahan is talking with the chief about steps we can take to stay safe. Here's Lisa.
Welcome to this week's Chat with the Chief. It's our chance to talk about the Oklahoma City Police Department with its leader, Chief Wade Gourley. Chief, thanks for being with us. We know that there had been a pedestrian hit and killed just a few days ago in southwest Oklahoma City. I know that police officers are still investigating this right now. What sort of safety tips could you offer the public in the meantime?
It seems like most of these fatality accidents occur at areas that aren't intersections without crosswalks. People are crossing in the middle of the block and those kind of things. And then how they're dressed too, if it's dark versus if it's light, it makes it a lot harder for the vehicles to see them. But the biggest thing, I think, is making sure you're crossing at those crosswalks, following the lights and the traffic control that's there.
Okay, so we've crunched the numbers, and over the last 5 years, data shows there were more deadly crashes involving pedestrians in December than any other month, and then November's right behind, tied for third. We know the time change is happening. You know, we're all adjusting to this new time change. It gets dark earlier. How will that factor into these crashes?
It definitely factors in to the crashes, because if you think about it, you know, that 5 o'clock rush hour and then the morning rush hour too, those times are both at that time of year can be dark, but especially in the evening, people are hurrying, they're trying to get home, or they're out and about, you know, shopping, maybe doing those last minute holiday type errands that they have to do. And when there isn't much lighting out there, and the traffic control, if they're not crossing at again at a crosswalk or an intersection, that can make it very dangerous. And I think that plays into that.
I know it's really difficult to narrow in on a specific area, but what, you know, broadly speaking, what areas are most prone to these types of crashes? Really,
it's areas where there's not a good light. It's low lighting type of areas where there's not good traffic lighting. And then again, it's always the areas that, you know, aren't at the intersection, more busier traffic ways. They seem to be, they happen less in the residential areas, more in those busy thoroughfares, those, you know, those 4-lane streets, those boulevards, where people have to cross long distances to get across the road.
You know, downtown has become a more bustling area over the years. Are you guys noticing more of these types of crashes in that area as well, or?
You know, we do see some of these areas that are more pedestrian friendly, and that are areas where more pedestrians are walking, that we do see more of those accidents. But when you have them in the downtown area, they seem to be at lower speeds, and so they may not be as severe as some of those outlying areas where the speeds are a little bit higher and the traffic may be moving more freely.
Certainly, people just need to be paying attention. I know not being on the cell phones is a big one for you, right?
Absolutely, and we think about that in our cars about not being on cell phones, but it really applies when you're walking and you're moving through traffic. You've got to be alert to everything around you, and you see it all the time. People step out into the street because they're on their phone and they're not paying attention.
Yep, great advice this morning. Thank you, Chief. We always love having you in here on Thursdays. You can join in on this conversation each and every week. Just email your questions to chatwiththechief@griffin.news. We'll see you then.